Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We back in the building. I go by CEO PESO. Always blessed and highly favored. I hope y'all feeling good and amazing. We got another one. Somebody powerful. Just a few kids from Dayton. Shouts out to Keith Kemp for blessing us with the merchandise. And we doing what we do. We just had a successful event. We doing what we love. And when y'all see the recap, y'all gonna see why we good at what we do. Please introduce yourself for these people.
Absolutely. Thank you, PESO. LaVaisha Davis. Like you said, just a kid from Dayton. We here to spread some words, spread a little bit of gospel, spread a little information. So I hope y'all ready.
Let's do it. How you feeling though? First and foremost. I heard you say that. Whatever.
First and foremost.
There we go. I did say it right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's cool. It's late, y'all. We good though. But how you feeling though overall?
Overall, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like I'm in my purpose. So that's always an elevated feeling.
Okay.
Never a down moment.
All right. So we just came off an event. Your husband, Wesley Davis, is somebody that I know personally. Y'all both set the event up. So let's just talk about what y'all did, what we did, because I'm a part of y'all building as well. So what we did, and how did it go to you? Was it
good? So what we just did is we brought something to the inner city that doesn't happen often. So we hosted the Bricklayer Convention, which was a wealth building conference, educating people on their power and their ability to build wealth, how abundance is their birthright, giving them the tools, the resources from the inside out on what they need to do to lay a brick every single day. That is not easy. It's not something that you can do overnight, but if you put forth the effort daily, regardless of your circumstances, that the results are going to come. So we gave them the tools that they needed to do that, and hopefully they're going to run those plays that we gave them.
Yeah. So describe where the terminology bricklayers came from, and why was that the go-to?
Well, that came from Mr. Davis, actually. So we've been married almost 14 years. So we've been building for a long time. So he coined the term brick by brick. That's essentially what we was doing. He painted a very, very clear picture for me of the lifestyle that we were going to live. But the path to get there wasn't carved. We had to do that. So everything that we did was literally just one step in that direction. He just labeled it a brick, and we've been rocking it ever since.
That's amazing. 14 years being married, and if we can be transparent with it, just explain how y'all got through the difficulties to still work it out with each other. At the same time, y'all figuring it out.
Oh, yeah, that's it. It's easy for us, may come challenging for others, but the vision has always been the primary focus. So when challenges come, those are going to happen. That's a permanent aspect of life. You cannot change challenges. The funny thing about it is, challenges are going to happen. Growth is optional. We chose to grow in those moments.
Say that again.
So challenges are guaranteed, but growth is optional.
Got it.
So rather than letting the challenges determine what was going to come of us, we let those challenges shape us to be better for the next challenge so we could be prepared. Because you're going to keep going through the same challenge over and over until you get it right.
Absolutely.
So letting the vision be the primary focus, you kind of forget. You stay centered in the motion of life. Life going to keep moving. But when the vision is the focus, you stay 10 toes down.
Absolutely. So let's get a little bit of your background. We jumped into it early, but where you from, where you was raised, and your upbringing. How was that?
So I'm from Dayton, Ohio, Fountain Avenue, Five Oaks, stand up,
in there,
around the way girl. Youngest of four from a single mother who worked day in and day out. So I'm no different than most of the people from the inner city. The difference with me was God was present. And he was adamant about showing me that I had a purpose in this life. So luckily, I was able to meet a partner. And I don't want people to discount their choice in their partnerships. I think that's where the roads get crisscrossed, because you have to make a decision in your partner. The power is in the partnership. So in my upbringing, I didn't see that. My mother was a single mother. My sisters became single mothers, so I didn't see the power of partnership. So God literally intervened and brought my husband into my life and showed me that the power was in partnership. So that's just kind of what redirected my path from being from where we came from to now being on the path to success.
So it's like a slight trial and error. Like, it's safe to say that you figured it out as you growed up.
I didn't figure nothing out. Like, God figured it out for me. Like, I met my husband in my senior year in high school. I didn't know what was I going to figure out? I didn't know nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I say that because, you know, I feel like you still got some type of inspiration from seeing your single mother in the household, and like you was the youngest, whatever. So it was
seeing what I didn't want.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I could agree with that.
And like with me and my dad, which we cool now, but it was just like, okay, the best way to go about being a good father is do everything that he didn't do. Mm-hmm. So that's how I look at it. Like, nigga, just be there, show up. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So let's talk about just how heavy you put yourself in a position dependent on faith, but when did that really hit? Like, you know, just kind of like just letting God handle it. Like, people kind of just walk around and don't even pray in the morning.
Right.
So
right.
When did God really be a symbol for you to depend on of like, all right, he got it?
Well, it wasn't always. I was a huge rebel. My husband was the faithful one. He was the one who was standing 10 toes down in faith. So as a partnership, he was patient enough with me to let me find my way. But in order for me to find my way, see, God has a very, very unique way of sending you through specific experiences to isolate you, to let you know that you need nobody but me. So we had a opportunity to become isolated.
Right.
And know that we couldn't become dependent on anybody but him, our Lord and Savior. And once we declared that together in unity, it was up. So that wasn't nothing about 2 years ago. Like, it wasn't even that long ago. Declaring that faith made a 10x difference in how we was moving in life, because now we're no longer in control.
Right.
I'm taking my hands off this steering wheel and I'm just moving by faith. Yep. And it just drove us further and further closer to the vision that we had already envisioned for ourselves anyway.
Yeah. Nah, that makes sense. Sorry. Nah, that makes sense though, because like one thing I learned from him as well, and I mean, we speaking about him, you know, just to be transparent, your husband, but yeah, he definitely had he had a different background, and he chose a different route, and it was dope. And it's just dope to see both of y'all like put it together, because like shit, it's a powerful thing. You damn near can't have one without the other. So but
that's the power of men though. Like, men don't take their leadership seriously. See, what I was blessed enough to have was a man who could really teach me something and could really lead me. So if we could get real transparent, he taught me the game of chess. We had to play it. And if anybody knows chess and you know the directions that the pieces can move in, he showed me, like, listen, the king can only move in limited spaces. They can move one step at a time, one square at a time. Yep. The queen can move directly across the board, diagonally across the board. So you're going to get in rooms that I can't get in.
Yeah.
So at first I thought he was pimping me. Like, wait a minute, am I getting pimped? But then after that, I realized that it was serious.
Yeah.
Yes, it was serious.
It was like, damn, this nigga just made sense.
Okay, it makes sense. He ain't pimping me. We good. We in this together.
But you know, the funny thing is that, like, man, we damn near feel like we can't do it without y'all. So him telling you that was just like he learned from it. But shit, you probably gonna have a better way of executing it than him.
Absolutely, and that's the play that we ran with.
Yeah. So when did you started becoming so independent? So when did like working for yourself become like a thing to you? Like all right, I'm about to be an entrepreneur and not have this. Shouts out to everybody who had 9 to 5s, but not to go that route though.
Again, listen, y'all. I'm not joking. Like, God works through my husband. He brought the entrepreneurship vision to my husband, who introduced it to me. I was going to med school. I was at Ohio State. I was going to go to med school. I was going to go the traditional route that everybody is told to go. You go to school, you get a degree, you get a career, you work. Yeah, I was on that path. And my husband was like, listen, I can't do that. And in support, I was just in a supportive role for a long time, and then figured out like, okay, we got to be all the way in order for this to work. So that was probably between like 2009, 2012 that we started to take those leaps, started to create our first businesses, learning from those mistakes, failing. It was failure after failure, which is failure is just an opportunity to learn. It's not a bad thing. But that time frame was when it was really happening, and we just learned from there.
What I heard it from somebody was like, no mean next opportunity. So
Yeah.
when you get failures, it's like, all right, bro, go on to the next one. But you built up something for yourself too, like, you know, how you your courses and your speaking engagements you do. So let's talk about that too.
Sure. That came from putting the work in. I mean, my husband can tell you, my children can tell you the sacrifices that we made, cooking dinner late, not getting them fed on time because I'm in trainings, I'm in groups, mentorships. Like mentorship, we talked about this at the Bricklayer Convention. Mentorships can be misclassified. It might be classified as an expense, but it's really an accelerator. So that mentorship helped accelerate what I needed to be putting my focus on. Because entrepreneurship, you wear all these different hats, so your eyes going all these different places.
Yeah, you doing multiple shit.
Too much and and you gotta focus. You gotta put your eye on one thing until that one thing pops. And mentorships help you laser that focus into something specific, because what people fail to realize is everything can't be taught. Game ain't always taught. Sometimes it's just caught. Sometimes you just from being in the right place at the right time, you might catch something.
Yep.
You get inspired, like, you know what?
Yeah,
so
it'll hit you.
It'll hit you. And if you got the right type of makeup already, if it hits you and it hits you right, you're going to go execute it anyway. So being mentored by certain people, which another thing, it was my majority men for me. I've been mentored by majority men. And I lost my brother, who was a dominant man in my life, very, very early. So when God started to replace him with all these different men in the right way, again, multiplier.
So just to be transparent again, so your brother was definitely somebody that influenced you.
Oh yeah. And it wasn't always positive. My brother taught me how to fight. He taught me how to understand other men.
You sound like you was a tomboy.
I was, but I wasn't. Like I was, but not by choice. Like my mom was a single parent, so I had to rock with what I had to rock with. Yeah. Like, so it was just different. It wasn't by choice. But my brother was trying to keep that feminine side of me, but make me respect myself and value myself. He taught me things that I thought he was weird for trying to teach me early. But it hit you later. But later it was like, okay, I see what he was saying. And then to have that taken away, I thought I lost something, but God kept him coming after that. Like I didn't lose. He here with me in spirit, but I have him in physical forms through multiple people.
So do you find it, did you find it hard to put yourself in a position to be a mentor? No. Because that mean that you putting I love the word transparency, and you just putting yourself out to inspire others though. So that's why I want people to understand your mentorship and what you helping others though. So was it difficult? No, because of what I experienced. Like the only reason why I was able to do what I do, because other people poured into me. So it was only right that I go out and pour into other people. So that part was really relatively easy. That ain't the hard part, but getting people to understand the power of mentorship is harder. Exactly. Like that's the hard part. Yeah, how do you push forward with it? Cool. All right, so let's go back to the Bricklayers. We had the convention. It was a success. It was dope. To piece together that event, talk about how much it took and the difficulties of how you pulled in a lot of people. So let's talk about that. Like, how did you go about even just doing all of that? Well, relationships. One of my mentors that spoke talked about the power of relationships. It's not always what you know, and sometimes it's just who you know and how well you serve them. People got to understand you got to serve people first. You got to give people value first to establish that relationship. So for them to believe in you. Yep. Like pressure is a privilege. Like when people put pressure on you, it's because they see potential in you. Talk that talk. So pressure is a privilege. You understand? So the people that was in that room applied pressure to me at one point in time to serve them to some magnitude. But now since I gave them that value, they was willing to come out for me in a place where people ain't coming. Like we in the trenches. They came to the trenches. Am I right or am I right? Nah, G shit. Like they was in the trenches delivering this message. Like doing real kingdom work. So that was great to
and to see, to witness, to be a part of. But the Bricklayer Convention is just a matter of collecting individuals who can pour into other people. Because here, check this too. And I hope I ain't popping it, too much.
Good. Trust me. We venting.
Listen, y'all. Like, it's when we talk about bricklayers, we talking about a principle. You have to understand that you have to put in certain work in order to receive certain results. But certain people live by certain principles. Those people that was in that room value communities. They value a team. See, a principle to live by, like Proverbs 11:14 said, where there is no guidance, the people will fail. But in abundance of counsel, there will be victory. So when you got people who can show you the way, that's a principle that you live by.
Yep.
So if you out here doing it by yourself, you're gonna be stuck.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna make it too far.
And I've been blessed to be able to. I love how you put that in perspective, because I've been blessed for people to, put pressure on me because they see the value in what we can accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
But it took them a certain way to learn it, and you put it off on us, and that's how the greatness keep building.
Absolutely,
it's all stepping stones though. So I definitely can resonate with that. So how we gonna push forward with the bricklayers? Like, how we gonna? What's next? Like, what we trying to? What we doing?
Man, the bricklayers about to take over for one. So just get ready, and don't say I didn't tell y'all. Don't say we didn't warn it. Don't say you ain't get the exclusive on that. So when you see bricklayers everywhere, it ain't news. It's just like, oh, we was expecting this. Mm-hmm. So get ready for that. But bricklayers is taking it all the way in the trenches, all the way. We going to make sure that people who need to hear this information gonna hear it. You don't always got to go to the big markets, the Miamis, the Atlantas, the Dallas, the Houstons. We might partake in those areas too, but inner city people still deserve to hear information that can transform their life.
Right.
Like for us, when I talk about my brother, I say that tragedy triggered change for our family. We don't have to keep expecting tragedy before we make a decision to change our lives. So we gonna come in and trigger that change.
That's interesting that you say that though. I mean, just to touch on it right now while we talking on it, like so you think that people make decisions off tragedy first rather than just doing it for their best benefit?
Absolutely, all the time. It takes for something drastic to happen rather than everybody wants to be reactive instead of proactive.
Yeah, damn right.
If I'm telling you that this is what it takes to prevent your family from being in financial destitute, as simple as taking out a life insurance policy, and you may be mistaken about the powers of life insurance.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but black people, not to put us in that position, but it's like it's hard to be like, all right, let's sign up for life insurance because that's just assuring like the day you die.
But that's the misconception right there.
Right.
So since you believe that it's only for when you die, then you're going to purchase it based on that. But if I could tell you that you can use this today, how you living today, to still multiply your money today, would you use it then? Yeah. It don't have to, like the death benefit is a byproduct. That's okay. Thank you for that. But we're going to use this for the next 10, 15, 20 years to really create wealth. So when we die, that's just a drop in the bucket. That's not what we counting on.
Right. So with the knowledge that you got from, being in your position, what's the best way to how do we stop our people from lacking, how to get this advantage of really working for ourselves and, really making time for ourselves so we can, do what we want to do?
Well, it starts on the inside first. Like you say, do what you want to do, but sometimes people don't know what they want to do.
Right.
Like they're trying to mimic somebody else. Like, oh, I want what they want. So you have to first clarify within yourself, what is it that you want? What do you want for you individually? What do you want for your family collectively? Most people ain't even thinking about their family collectively. It's all individual. What do you really want? Like, do you just want to not have to work for money? Do you want to be able to leave a certain amount of wealth to your family? Do you want to leave a certain type of asset? Like, the thing about wealthy people is they're visionaries. And they clearly understand that their wealth is infinite. I can create whatever I want to create. And it starts with the foundation, because we can't build a tower on a foundation laid for a one-story home.
Goddamn right.
So if we talking about what is it that you want, you got to be able to first paint that picture. Second thing, you need to dedicate the professionals to it. We so reluctant to work with people and trust people. We got trust issues, commitment issues. So we don't want to bring in the financial advisors, the tax advisors, the legal advisors. We don't want to bring them in. We want to try to do it ourselves and work with the people around the corner. Like,
yeah, because we don't want them to know too much about our pockets and.
But then, how can I help better your situation? How can I tell you what's going wrong if I don't know what you're doing?
Yeah, and we have to be transparent. Like, we have to like keep it G when it comes to that level, so we can understand.
Absolutely. So first, you got to know what you want. Then you got to bring in the professionals that's going to help you do that. And then third, you got to actually execute according to that plan. We have a tendency to want these microwave results. We want it instantaneously.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, that instant gratification can be the death of us because the moment it ain't going right, you want to just throw in the towel.
Right.
Like, and that's not how this goes. Like, you have to live, you have to learn, you got to execute. You can't just limit results on one specific situation. Like, you got to be able to carry it through, see it through, and learn from that. Try it again with the changes that you needed to make. Yeah. So, but it's a process.
Yeah, because shouts out to Amber Smith. She a chef. I was talking to her today about it. You know, it just take a level of like, you know, we are the people that shift the way of the world. Like, we take the losses with us and we try to execute it as we go because like it's so easy to have it already planned out for you. And this shit is like, we figure out as we go. We just make it look good.
No, for sure. Trust me, we figured we was figuring it out as we went for a long time.
Like before,
long time.
Like because you know y'all, I appreciate y'all so much to pull me into what y'all got going. Like, I seen it when it was bad, and the way y'all, it's not like y'all making it look good, but it, you know, it is good though, and it took all of this shit. Like it took a minute though.
All of it, every last bit of it, every brick.
Yeah.
Every brick that we laid is just now coming into fruition for y'all, but we was in it.
And
hard,
and it wasn't overnight.
It was not overnight, and it was hard to push through because one thing my husband was telling me is the life we live in right now, and even what's still to come. Like, he was saying that we was on the floor.
Yo, because you said that, he told me, he was like, man, y'all was sleeping on the floor with each other. Yeah. And God damn it, it was a judge-free zone. Judge-free zone. We in this together. Yep. And you got to be able to stick it through. Like, I hear you telling me this, and we putting in the work, but our lifestyle ain't matching our efforts. Can you keep laying the brick knowing I laid 10 bricks today and I ain't make $1? You gonna get up tomorrow and lay 10 more? Are you willing to do that? Yeah. If you're not willing to do that, you don't deserve the structure that come from that. Yeah, you got to be a visionary. You have to be a visionary, and you have to be an executioner. Because you can see it all day. We got a lot of visionaries in the hood. A lot of talented people in the hood. So, but executing it, But executing it is a different level, and that sometimes requires a partnership. You got me on that. I'll be honest. Shit. You got me on that. It's different. Nah, yeah, for sure though. So yeah, we talked about what's next. The last question two last questions was D was Wes was telling me about, you know, what was the quote? It take a man to take care of 3 generations.
Man's job that's his purpose. That's what God wants you to do. Take care of 3 generations. You're gonna set up 3 generations.
Right. So, did you ever have that in your thought, or was you just in your own element, like to?
Well, in my journey to educate myself about money, that's when I learned about the 3 generational concept. So it wasn't there initially, but as I started to get into certain rooms, started to work with higher net worth individuals, because I'm a financial advisor, by the way. So I help people build, protect, manage, leverage, and pass on their wealth. So after doing that, then I understood the importance of the 3 generations and how to do it. Right. Because you can know it, but that don't mean you know how to do it. Because it's one thing to be aware of something, than it is to be confident in something, than it is to be proficient in something.
Man, talk that talk.
Totally different things.
Nah, G shit, yeah.
So now that I'm proficient, because I do this for a living and I do it for hundreds of people that cost them thousands and thousands of dollars. You heard them at the convention about what they spending to get this stuff done. So now that I know,
this shit ain't cheap.
It's not
cheap.
Knowledge
ain't cheap.
Knowledge ain't cheap. Teams ain't cheap. You got to pay people. You have to pay for their expertise. That comes with a cost. And people, you can't just do it one time. It's an ongoing maintenance. So I forgot what the question was. I'm sorry. I get to.
Nah, I mean, shit. Honestly, I did too. I mean, I'm just being. That was just a. Nah, but that whatever I asked you just led into, like you got to invest in yourself. You have to really understand, like it's delayed gratification.
Oh, always.
Like
we ain't going on vacation for 10 years.
Yeah, in West, we have our personal conversations, and it's just like, he paid to play. He put his money in to understand, to put himself and you and his kids into a better position. And people need to understand that, like it definitely take money, whether it's the cheapest or whatever it's gonna take.
No, we ain't gonna say the cheapest.
Nah,
because the cheapest things are the most expensive.
Oh.
So we're not gonna say the cheapest.
You got me on that too.
We're not gonna say that. Like that's another misconception. We're not going to say that. Now we may start at a different level. You may start with the webinars. You may start with the courses, but those are going to develop into mentorships, and that becomes costly.
But if it takes 75 or 100 to get into this thing, that's what I mean by the cheapest. Like, bro, just pay for it. Do something like that. They might feel uncomfortable. And you're gonna understand something when you leave from it.
I agree. Yes, if that's what but I call that levels. I won't call it cheap.
Got it.
That's if you start at an entry level. It's nothing wrong with starting at an entry level. We all got to start somewhere.
There you go. All right. So my lingo is just still at trenches.
Yeah, exactly. We don't call it cheap. We don't call it entry level.
Yeah, entry level.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So before we wrap up, I ask everybody, what's a good quote or a piece of advice that you live off of?
That you're a seed. You have to understand something. So we call it bricks right now, but you're a seed. And you have to get in the right place so that you can be put in the right soil with the right amount of light, with the right amount of water, so you can just grow. If you don't put yourself in that position, the seed only grows in good soil. If you're constantly in bad soil, check your circle, check your people, check what you're taking in. If you're constantly in bad soil, you're not helping yourself or anybody around you.
You ain't gonna grow. I like a quote. I mean, just off of what you saying with the whole seed thing, I remember hearing a quote, and it was basically, if you feel like you get buried in the darkness, that just means that you just got put in another position to grow. Yeah,
because the harvest is in the seed.
Yeah. So it's just like, if it's hard, you got to restart, go for it, and shit,
And replant. It's okay.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all the cliche things, but it's just like that's really what it is. Though.
It's not cliche. It's principles.
Yeah.
You live by the right principles, you're gonna get the right product.
Yep. All right.
All right. Bricklayers.
Hey,
let's
bricklayers,
get it.
Man. Make sure you follow us. I'm gonna put all the tags on us, and I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
All right, Dreamers. Huh? Dreamers Welcome Podcast. Y'all keep dreaming. We out.
Okay, wait. Can I put my handles in here?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I want everybody to follow us in the Bricklayers community. You can follow me individually at LaVaisha Davis. I'm a LaVaisha Davis on all platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure to lock in. Make sure to get in. It's about being in proximity. It's about being around people who can empower, who can encourage, who can enlighten, who can uplift. And if you don't have those type of people around you, we need to get in the Bricklayers community.
I was just trying to keep up with
the class. I don't even know what beat I was on. So good luck trying to keep up.
Yeah. Hey, Dreamers Welcome Podcast, man. Y'all keep dreaming. We out this bitch.
Yes.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.